It's 8:30 a.m. and
real thing. Little fool.
my project about the MacBook Pro, my 6-month experience with the MacBook Pro got ruined. I'm gonna do it again because we can't stop. We can't stop.
Hey. Little fool. Hey.
Having fun. This is good. Still on my journey, and man, having a good breakfast. Wanna see how I eat? Oh, look at that. Coffee, waffles, nice scrambled eggs with jamonilla. You know what jamonilla is? Okay, so I'm back. I'm here, and I feel better. I'm not sleepy. I'm not tired. I'm not mad anymore that I lost all my, not lost, I just messed up. I screwed up. That's what happened. My video got screwed up. My project got screwed up. I got over it. You know, life is one, and you have to live. You cannot just go crazy for that. Anyway, what kind of work did I do? What kind of stuff am I going to be doing on this laptop? What kind of uses am I going to be doing with my MacBook Pro? Which all I do is just web design. I do some front-end web developer as well. I do, because web design and web developer are two different things. So many people got that confused. They think it's the same thing, but no. You could be a web design and not being a web developer, and you can also be a web developer without doing the design for the website. So I do both, but just front end. And I'm also learning new things. I'm learning, I don't know why I keep looking at that instead of this. I have to learn. And I'm also learning new language, programming language, JavaScript and PHP. That's what I do. That's the main use that I do with my laptop. When I took the decision to go ahead and get a new MacBook Pro, I had in mind already that I was gonna do a YouTube channel. So I need something to edit videos. I needed a laptop because I was going out to places, going to parties. Sometimes my kids, Papi, go to the park, Papi, go do this, Papi, go do that. But I had so much work to do. I didn't want to leave my office. And now I'm able to leave my office, go out, go around, play with my kids a little bit, sit down in the park, get a nice cold bottle of water, and do some typing, do some coding, do some editing, and shoot video transfers, and shoot some photo transfers, doing some stuff around. That's my main use for my MacBook. I needed a good laptop. That's why I got my MacBook Pro, and we got that out of the way. I purchased my first MacBook Pro, and actually my first laptop ever. I never owned a laptop. I got custom built PC, I got an iMac, and a whole bunch of other different computers, but never owned a laptop because I really thought that I never gonna need a laptop. And I purchased the MacBook Pro, the 2016 model MacBook Pro, in May 2017 with 256 gigabytes of storage, 16 gigabytes of memory RAM, which doesn't make any sense to me because at least 32 will be okay, or at least give us the opportunity to pick 8 and then do the same thing I did with my iMac and put some new memory RAM myself in it. But it's just 16. But anyways, still good enough to me. So that's the one I got. But believe it or not, my MacBook got stolen 5 days later after I received it. I barely got to use it. I barely got to turn my computer on. And somebody already stole that from me. And it was so crazy. But I was lucky enough, thanks God for that whoever stole the MacBooks sold the computer, and whoever purchased the computer, it was dumb enough to just turn it on, and when they turned that computer on, they find my iPhone app from Apple, notified me where with the address, location, and everything. It was so crazy. So that thing just perfectly worked, and I was lucky enough to have that on. and called the police, went over there, and I got my MacBook back. But I was still a little bit disappointed about it because somebody already had my laptop for about 2 days, and I didn't want that laptop. So I went to Apple, returned my laptop, got a new one because it just, I don't know, maybe the OCD or something, I don't know, just got a new one. But what happened was that when I finally got my laptop, went home and started using my laptop little by little, I said, you know what, 256 gigabyte storage is not enough, even though I have an external 1 terabyte gigabyte storage external hard drive. Man, I should have said a different way and simplified the whole entire sentence. It was still not enough for me, so I went back to Apple. And before I went back to Apple, that's when the rumor was really heavy around about Apple just gonna change to Kaby and this, that, this, and that. So I went over there. So I told them to place the money on gift cards. That way, if the rumor were right, I had the money available at that moment to go and purchase the new one. So I did that, and 3 days later, I think it was in June, at the WWDC from Apple, they announced the update for Kaby. They also changed, they put a new GPU on it. So I called over the phone, and I ordered my laptop. I placed an order, and I had to wait 2 weeks in order for me to get the laptop. I placed my order over the phone. They make me wait 2 weeks to receive my laptop at the store, and they had some laptops available at that moment. So they made me wait, and I got my laptop. And I went and got my laptop. Finally, I started using my laptop. 5 days, 10 days, 15 days passed, and I got my laptop. But somehow, I'm over here, actually I was creating my logo for my YouTube channel. When I was creating the logo, I just realized there was like a dead pixel on my screen and on my display, and I said, no way, this cannot be happening. I did not drop this. Where did this come from? So I wipe it off, I wipe it and clean off, and yes, there was something stuck on my display past my fingernail, and I could feel there was something stuck in there. So I went back to Apple again, and I started arguing with them, and I came back home. They didn't do nothing for me. They want me to pay $500 to change the display. I called over the phone. They gave me a hard time. I went back to the store, and they finally gave up, and they just swapped my laptop at no cost. So I didn't pay nothing, no money at all. But I did put the Apple Care Plus insurance plan on it because this time I didn't want to deal with that. So I put the insurance, and I got my laptop, and I finally started using my laptop. What do I like about this laptop? Literally everything. The only thing I don't like about the laptop is the price. Literally, the only thing I do not like about this laptop is just the price. This MacBook Pro, the aluminum, some places say aluminum, other places say aluminum. That's why you say that in Spanish. The aluminum finish on this laptop is just so beautiful. I just love the way it looks, and I have no complaint when it comes to the build quality of this laptop. The keyboard sounds amazing. I call it the butterfly thing. I never owned a laptop before, so I can't really compare this one because I don't know. I can't tell you that much. Let's jump over to the other one. The trackpad. It's a trackpad. It does the same thing this thing does. It's a trackpad, and it's very responsive and do some nice, cool gesture features, and I like the way it looks. It's trackpad. But most of the time, I use my mouse. So I love this mouse right here, and on a laptop before. So my experience with the trackpad is great. My experience with the keyboard is also great. What about the speaker? And that's a tricky question. How can I talk about a laptop speaker over the camera and then upload into YouTube? So the sound is not gonna come out. That's a big truck coming by. So the sound of the speaker are not gonna be similar. It's not gonna be, but I'm still gonna put a clip so you guys can hear it.
First off, praise to the Most High. Glory Yeshua, you are the ruler, it's in you that my hope lies. No God, no lie, no bite, I don't play both sides.
They're good enough, and I really don't listen to music on my laptop. Most of the time I got my headphones. Either these headphones or the other one, the little one. Oh, Let's jump over to the next one. Speakers are great. Fingerprint, not fingerprint. Touch ID, that's the name. Touch ID. It works great. It's very responsive. It works great. But most of the time, I just use my app. Every time you open your display, if you have an Apple Watch, it's always going to open with your smartwatch, and that's why I barely use that. The touch bar. Let's talk about the touch bar. It's technically a 2170 by 60. 2170. Let me take my notes. Yeah, 2170 by 60 OLED display. That's literally what it is. It's not mechanical anymore. It's just digital. The cool things about that is that depending on the app, the active app that you have using, like Premiere Pro, maybe the photo app, maybe on Illustrator, Photoshop, you can do some cool, it has some cool features, you can do some cool activity with that. So it will change depending on the active app. Mostly use it just to volume up and down and some brightness. And when I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro and some of the stuff, also to hit enter when I'm putting my password and stuff like this. We're gonna be talking about the rest of the stuff somewhere else. So we're gonna be talking about the performance on the MacBook Pro, which is amazing. I gotta complain. Performance of the MacBook Pro is very good. I don't know what to say. Let's talk about the test. See you later. Geekbench. My first test on Geekbench, this MacBook computer, was on August 1st with no app installed on my computer and barely used on the laptop. It gave me a single core score of 4,662 and multi-core score of 15,739. My second test, which was 6 months after, on March 8th, with plenty of apps installed and heavy use, gave me a single core score of 4,578 and a multi-core score of 15,626. Not a lot of difference here. Still performing pretty well according to Geekbench. Let's jump into the GPU. This computer have two different graphic cards. One is the Intel HD 630 graphics card. The other one is the AMD Radeon Pro 560. And this computer has the ability of automatic switching. And I disabled that feature, which is not working properly. I disabled that and I never turned it back on again. Even if they fixed it with some minor updates, I just not using that. That's just to save some battery power and stuff like that. So I don't need that. My first test on the Intel HD 630 was on August 1st, and I used OpenCL, and it gave me a score of 20,836. My second test on the same graphics card, the Intel HD 630, was on March 9th, 2018. That was this year. OpenCL score of 21,166, which is the opposite. It just went up. I have no idea why it does that, but that's the way it came out. My first test on the AMD Radeon Pro was on August 1st, and it gave me a score of 49,482. Now on March 9th, the OpenCL test on the AMD Radeon Pro gave me was 41,884. That was significant difference right there. It's about 8,000 maybe. That's Geekbench. That's just some software pushing the limits of the hardware on the computer, combining it with the software, and all that technical situation there. But what about real life? So what I did was that I took a 7-minute 4K 24 frame per second video clip, and I export that on my MacBook Pro, and export that on constant bit rate 100 megabyte per second in 35 minutes and 26 seconds. A 7-minute 4K 24 frame per second clip. It took 35 minutes 26 seconds. Now that's 10 minutes and 51 seconds more than my iMac. My iMac export the same exact clip in the same exact setting, 7 minutes, 4K 24 frames per second, constant bitrate 100 megabytes per second in 24 minutes and 35 seconds. That's again 10 minutes and 51 seconds that the MacBook took longer than my iMac. I think it's not that bad. Adobe Media Encoder. So what I did was that I took that clip because I always create proxies when I'm doing video editing, especially 4K, even 1080p. I create proxies. It's a very unique, easy way to deal with large files on video editing. So the same exact clip that I export on Premiere Pro, the 7-minute video, 4K, 24 frames per second, I imported that clip back into Premiere Pro and I create a proxy. The proxies ingest preset that I choose was the Apple Res 720 by 486 widescreen. And the MacBook Pro took 12 minutes, 24 seconds on that video clip. Now that's 8 minutes and 46 seconds more than the iMac. My iMac took 3 minutes and 38 seconds to do that preset encoding proxy, let's say like that. Now that's impressive for the iMac, and the review is not even about the iMac. So iMac, let's go back to you. Yes, that was impressive. What is last on the list is the battery, and Apple claimed I think it's 9 to 10 hours of battery life, and that's something I really don't understand. To me, that's kind of tricky. Video editing, 9 hours, never that, never. It will never gonna happen. 3 hours to 4 hours max, depending on what kind of editing you are doing on the computer. When I'm doing web design, when I'm doing some coding and doing some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I go outside to different places, 4 to 7 hours, depending on the kind of use that I'm using. If I'm doing both at the same time, like I'm using Photoshop and Illustrator to create the design, and at the same time I'm doing some coding, and I have multiple apps open at the same time, so they will last me 3 to 4 hours. But it's just doing some coding and using FileZilla to upload to the server and the website, it'll last me 6 to 7 hours. That's without any doubt about that. But 10 hours, sorry Apple, that's not gonna last me 10 hours. Unless I'm misunderstanding the way they're claiming 10 hours. So that's my 6-month experience with my laptop, and I'm happy with it. I have no complaint about it. So thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys didn't enjoy, sorry, I'll try to make it better for you next time. And please, if you have any comment, leave it down in the comment section below. And see you in the next video. This is Gio from gio.zone.com.